What's up, everybody?
You know,
Welcome back to another Going Rounds podcast. I'm here today with another guest, my brother-in-law, Cristo from the Final Rounds podcast. Welcome to the show, man.
thank you, Big E.
How you
Big E
doing today?
Productions. Oh man, I'm stoked. I'm like ecstatic that you got me on. You got me on, man. I'm
Right on,
just
man.
happy to be here.
Yeah, it's about
So I know
time.
we got a lot to talk about.
Definitely.
Uh,
We're gonna start this out here. We're just gonna. I'm gonna give you guys a little intro to Cristo. We've known each other for a long time because, like I said, he's my brother-in-law. So he's helped giving me three beautiful nieces and has made
oh
my
man,
my
oh
wonderful
man.
sister very happy. So I love this dude, Cristo. You're my boy
It's
and my
mutual,
bro.
brother. It's mutual, man. It's love going around. I mean,
Definitely. And
that's
then
the mutualness, love. We're hooked up. We're family. So
For sure.
um,
And another real important thing is that this is the man that got me into podcasting because if it wasn't for
uh,
him, I wouldn't even have tried this probably because he started doing it
Yes.
first. So I had
No,
to
you just I
go
think we
ahead.
both needed the push off the ledge.
Yeah, definitely. So, I started this because he said he was doing it with Tommy, who was my last guest. That's his blood brother. And pretty much I was just
We're all
like
fam. We're
I was
all
like,
fam.
man, this is cool. Like I was glad to see that he was doing it. And then he's like, man, we need to get you in. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know, because that's not really like if you know if anybody out there watching that knows me knows I'm not real big about taking pictures of myself and video. I hate my fucking voice. I've said it over and over. But I've been into podcasts for a long time, and so for him to say he was doing it and then wanted me to jump in, I'm like, "However, I guess so, man. I guess if that's what you
No,
want."
you're 110% natural for you, Biggie. It's I know it's a passion. You've been following podcasting, all that. It, it's 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 beyond your alley. You are innovating in my book. Like
Oh well, shit.
you are innovating. You are inspirational to me. Like I knew this was something like you guys are in your tech zone and all that, and I knew this was right up your alley. So with that note, yeah, this was just like it was your calling, bro.
I
Like you
appreciate
need
it,
to be
man.
doing this. No, no, and you're taking it to a whole new level each week. You guys are stepping it up, and I'm like back here on I'm just hitchhiking for the ride. So
Hey, no matter what though, I always give you the credit for getting me involved
no,
because if you didn't push me, man, I wouldn't be here doing this. And this is something that I can't even believe I'm doing it, honestly. So
well,
what like I told Tommy, I'm not trying to get famous off all this. I'm just doing something I feel passionate about and I like it a lot.
exactly,
And once
exactly.
again, thank you for pushing me into this and I
No,
appreciate
and
it.
that's the thing. It's not about getting famous. It's not about doing, if you do, YouTube pays you, what have you, that's all gravy. But I just think it's the fun. It's like again last night, you guys, there's different podcasts for you viewers out there. There's different podcasts. Big E's involved. I'm involved. I don't get on it as much as Big E, but um, I just think like there's just that when you get on that podcast or whatever, it's not even it's almost like a Zoom meeting. Like you're just in there, some things are choreographed, some things are on the limit, what have you, but for the most part, it's just shooting the shit, banter, talking crap,
For
what
us
have you.
especially,
You
yeah,
know,
we're
right.
usually just
I
flying
mean,
off
you
the
guys
handle.
went off last night on a bunch of topics. I'm like, man, even if I had horsepower to join, I probably wouldn't have been able to. I probably wouldn't able been to keep up on the topics anyway because I'm just out of the loop. But anyway, we're here, MMA, UFC, loving it. I'm just
Yeah,
happy to
man.
be here, Big E, man. Thank you for having me,
No,
and
thank
do
you for
your
being
thing,
here.
bro. Do your thing.
Um,
Going
just
rounds,
wanted to
baby.
I just wanted to get into a little bit more about you real quick. Chris has a talent. He's got a we'll call him Dr. Green Thumb
Okay,
because he's got
okay.
himself a little talent that he's excelled at, which is growing some marijuana. That's why I themed our
Yes.
background here with the green smoke. because we got to represent.
I love it,
Yeah.
man, and,
So
yeah, I had to
I was just gonna ask you real quick, like what got you into, doing all that along amongst the other things you do, which we'll talk about
well,
in a minute, but
okay. Man, we're going down a rabbit hole of smoke here.
it's all good. Just give
Love
me
the
a little
background, by
rundown.
the way. Totally legit. Um, like, it for some of you viewers out there that are, smoking, toking, joking, um, uh, I don't know, like growing cultivation, you know, uh, in Arizona. Yeah, I would say Arizona in a state that we are legal to grow, cultivate, and have, a certain amount. Um, that's enabled us, like, to me, as a cultivator, I think, like, to experiment, to grow your own stuff. I mean, you got a lot of crap going on out there. Fentanyl is a big deal with people like tainting stuff. You don't want to have stuff tainted. I
No
think all
doubt.
in all is just you want to be able to grow something that you've grown. Like, it's clean, it's good, and not saying it's like killer Cali. Like, it's not no. I mean, there's stuff out there. It's like 87% THC right now, and one hitter quitter, and that's all good. But I just think, like, it ain't no different than if someone wanted to be like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna grow the biggest pumpkin I can." You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna just, I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna grow this 300-pound watermelon, and everyone's gonna feed off it. But that's kind of the same sense that I'm in, man. I'm growing it kind of more personally, really. It's not for sale, it's
Yeah.
just for my own personal I like to smoke and
And it's a peace of
then
mind, like you said, to know that you're getting good quality shit and you're not having to
exactly.
worry about
It's
anybody
not
doing
tainted,
anything
right?
stupid. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, and that's what
You
I
hit it
like.
on the nail.
I like that about you. You're into doing something that's good for yourself.
Right.
People can feel how they want about smoking marijuana. When it comes down to it,
Right.
people do it for medicinal reasons, pure recreational. Relaxation. People have anxiety
Right.
throughout the day, and whether or not you have you know, a doctor that says you need something of that sort or
Right.
not, you have a certain feeling that you feel throughout the day with stresses of the world. And in order to cope with
Right.
that, it's legal to smoke recreationally, so nobody
It
should
is.
feel ashamed. And if you don't have to take
No.
a drug test that says you know, if you for some reason pop dirty, then you're in trouble, then there's absolutely no
Right.
reason why you can't do it.
And I
So,
think that's the, like, you hit it on the nail, Biggie, is the stigma of, like, you shouldn't feel bad. I mean, it ain't no different than someone like popping 5 ibuprofens every hour. I mean, there's and things are natural, things are, uh what's the word? Man-made, what have you, all that stuff that's tainted. I mean, and that's how you look at things. Like, you can say, well, I want something natural as opposed to man-made or pharmaceutical over the counter kind of stuff. You just want to go more natural with it. I think definitely marijuana is eh, excuse me. I've been I think marijuana is definitely a good resource. I think we've overlooked that. I think we put too many um too many hinders, too many bars on that to say, like, you can't do this, you can't do that. You don't know what it's going to work. You don't know the pros and cons. And I just feel like, and it's sad because you've seen, like, you're like, man, people that's doing time or done time has gotten, over some stupid little bullshit, like found seeds in your car,
yep.
or, and it's like, man, and then there's, when you look at the real picture of the world, you're thinking, man, there's so much, like, we're going through a Ukraine kind of bullshit, and what, you're going to worry about a few seeds on my floorboard? Like, come on, man. So
Or
we at
one
least,
joint.
yeah, at least as America, we've come that far, in which I think most people, that's why I believe it has become legal, is the fact that people are just like, you know what? Why are we making such a big deal out of this? It does so much beneficial, and everyone's just so against it. But it's like, man, alcohol. That's a whole nother different story. So it's how you perceive stuff, and but yeah, I mean, growing itself, it's I'll be honest, it's like an art form. It ain't no different than being a gardener. Like I
Especially the way
said,
you
someone.
do
I
it.
mean, well, someone who's like, I want to grow that big ass fucking pumpkin. I want to grow and I'm not trying to grow the biggest buds, but hey, sometimes the bigger buds are the better ones.
But
But
what I've seen from you, you may not be trying for that, but you're doing pretty damn well for yourself as
right,
far as when you were,
right on.
when you had everything going. And I mean, you're throwing videos out there making it look like it's like heavenly sounds coming from the back of those little.
You can almost, if there was a scratch and sniff fucking little button on
Oh
your
yeah.
phone there. Yeah.
No
Oh
doubt.
man.
Right on. Well, I mean, that's one of the many things Cristo gets into. And
Thank
the
you.
other thing is, you're a tattoo artist as well. And I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
a
been
lot of
on
my
the
98% of my ink came from him. So, I represent the ink all the time. I was a nice little canvas for him when he
you
started
were,
doing
man.
it.
You were
And I still obviously I represent him all the time. I forget I have tattoos half the time because I got so many. It's just a natural
right.
thing for me. But
I
how
just think
how
we're
long
just getting old.
oh
It's
yeah.
like
No doubt.
people probably like look at you and they're like, "Oh," and you're like, "Oh yeah, I forgot I had that."
People don't honestly, like, I used to get comments and stuff all the time, like, "How many tattoos do you have?" Or blah, 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 "What's your favorite one?"
Right.
Nobody asks anything anymore because I think it's just so common these days for people to
Right.
be tatted up, and that's fine,
Exactly.
it just means that I don't have to deal with the stupid stigma that I used to deal with back in the day, big
Right.
Mexican dude with a bunch of tattoos, it's like, there goes a criminal.
Well, as
So
they would say, enterprise, you're probably front of the house anyway, no matter if you have tats or not. So,
How long now has it been? How long have you been tatting?
um, so over 20 years.
Over 20
Um,
years, damn.
I got into it. Um, I would say around, yeah, it was just probably about 99, 2000. Um,
You know what? I'm asking you the question like I don't know because we're on here doing this thing. I'm letting the people know, but
no,
I
no,
want
that's
to
cool.
say it was maybe 98, 98,
You know
97 ish.
what? You're probably
Yeah,
hitting that year better
I'm just
than me.
thinking of how old I was when I first got tatted from
Right.
you, and I was still in high school. So,
And it's all right. We're gonna open this door up. So it's crazy because I've always been intrigued with art. I mean, since I was probably 5 years old, man, I sat there and drawn with my dad, cowboy.
hmm
We drew characters and stuff, and but up until that point, where yeah, you would say 98, man. That's Walter Chadwick. He was probably my mentor, my stepdad to the point who got me into the art. And it was crazy. It's a crazy story, man, and I'm pretty sure everyone wants to hear this. But so, yeah, I was going through this guy Walter Chadwick, man. He was a tattooist out of Arkansas, 15 years deep in his pocket. He actually had a shop out there, and he came out to Tucson, Arizona. Him, his family, and I was at the time I was going to him to get artwork. Like it wasn't like, I there was no thought of me being a tattoo artist. It was just like, I'm going to this dude to get tats
right, just to get inked up.
because
Yeah,
I worked with his wife. I worked at Mickey D's. That's kinda how the word spread.
yeah.
I was working with her at Mickey D's. She was my supervisor, and she knew I was into getting ink and stuff, and she was like, "Hey, my husband does tattoos," and I was like, "Oh, right on," and so she goes, get interested, whatnot. I meet up with Wally. His
Mm.
name's Wally. And so I end up getting tattoo work from him. I'm going to him. He's my dude. Um, because, you know, in any given circumstance, whether it be tattoo work, car work, you want to get the cheap deals. You don't want to pay some out. That's why you go underground, because you
Yeah,
don't want to pay top dollar. But
right.
nowadays, it's the reverse. Like it's almost like I gotta show that I'm in a shop just to prove that, you know,
Yeah.
all that gravy. But so I'm getting tattooed by Wally, and it was like, hey man, he was hurting for money at the point, and he's like, "Hey, I got an extra tattoo kit. I know you like art. I know you like to draw, paint, what have you. Would this be something that you'd be interested in?" I was like, "Well, fuck yeah, yeah, dude." Like, yeah. The only thing is, I didn't have the money at the time to buy the kit off of him.
Yeah.
So it's crazy that Will mention your father-in-law. Whoop whoop.
Mm.
My father-in-law.
Your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had to get checked. All right. See, it's a good thing I got some
yeah.
beeps on the side.
I saw you thinking about it, so I was
I
like,
know. But anyway, yeah, you know what? It was, I don't know, man. It was like a godsend, really, because he's like, I'll front you the money. I'll get you this kit. And I was like, yo, but I got you. I'll pay you back. He's like, oh, I know you'll pay me back. Until this day, he's sleeved up, legged up.
Oh yeah,
Everyone is,
oh
the whole
yeah.
family.
Pops is
So,
always willing to help out,
right, right.
and that
Amen.
was a
Love,
good investment
man.
if you
Much
ask
love.
me.
You know what? I don't think that's just, he just saw something, I guess. Like,
Yeah,
you know, but at the time, man, it was crazy times, but it worked out. It was a matter of the flow, really. Like, that's how things work out, I guess. Like, you don't expect things to happen in life as they flow, and then all of a sudden something like big old fork in the road, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, but yeah, and then that's a whole nother chapter.
yeah. I mean,
Because
I remember I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, I think I have like 4 tattoos that you didn't do, and 2 of them were
right,
because you weren't doing them yet. the One of them was
yeah,
because I was in Vegas and I got drunk and went and got a tattoo
right.
for way too much
Oh,
money, but
it's understand. I mean, and that's the thing too with tattoos, like anything in life. As art goes, I always say, collect as much as you can. Be pleased. Be pleased, really. Be happy. Be pleased, and but I would say, like, it's crazy because the experiences we have. I would say, like, there's probably 3 experiences we've had, probably, I don't know. There's one in particular, but in our tattoo sessions that, you could relate to UFC status, where fools had to get checked.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, there's so many. I mean, there are so many nights.
Right,
I'm still in high school and I'm doing. Hey, we're way away from that time, so
right,
I'm getting drunk and I'm sitting in a chair for hours while you're tatting me up. I'm falling
right,
asleep with my head forward, getting my neck tatted because at the back of my neck and stuff. I mean, there's so many things.
right.
Crazy
And
drunken
that goes
nights.
that goes coincide with, you're rocking the, what is it? Big E, Free Cain
Oh yeah,
Velasquez, right? I
Cain
mean, we're
Velasquez.
we're bringing back, we're reminiscing on the sport, just the history itself, that it's prolonged through as long as I've known you, man. I mean, I know UFC's been, MMA's been your blood, dude. Like, I
Oh yeah.
know that, that's why when the whole going arounds, all this stuff that we've, podcasting, what have you, it's just, I knew that was your next calling, man. I knew, and that's the thing. I feel bad because I ain't in your guys' stuff. I will be. I'm just like, my horsepower ain't there, and I don't want to be the. I just, I was thinking about jumping in last night, but I was like, man, what? I'm that guy. Like,
Well,
I'm
so
like five
just
seconds behind.
just for
I'm
context
probably five
for
seconds behind now.
no, no, you're good. Just for context for everybody out there listening, he's just talking about the fact that his laptop isn't keeping up to speed with,
Right.
especially when we have multiple people in our
Right.
group Like, so when we have 4 people, everybody's connections
It'll
bouncing off
draw the
of each
power.
other, and pretty much, it's just laptop stuff, It does his
It
internet
draws the
can
power
hang.
just on 4 of us. I can imagine
Yeah.
6 of us.
Well, and that's the thing. I was watching last night in Ninja, I was watching the CPU
Right,
usage and it said CPU overloaded the whole time. So
right,
I don't even
right.
know if you could have even jumped in. But
Yeah, I wasn't as much as I wanted to, man, because there was and even towards the end, I was like, "Man, what if I just jumped in, like, did a Zorro kinda move?" But I was like, "Nah, you know what? Time will I'll get there. I'll get in
yeah.
there with you
No,
fellas,
for
man.
sure.
You know me."
And here's the
Um,
thing, with you, we've done a couple sessions now, kind of test runs and stuff. And
right.
me and you by ourselves, it works fine. I didn't
Oh,
even
it's
do the extra step that I did last time to get you in here, and
right.
you're doing well. Like, I'm watching your mouth
It's
move as you're
obviously
talking, and it's good.
right. Yeah, it's obviously, the more kinda members, the more juice
Too
being
many
sucked, I would
connections.
say that yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just pulling that power and
There's a little background behind the screen talk for you guys about podcasting, because we that's the some of the challenges we face when we're podcasting,
Oh,
and
man.
we're all still starters, beginners and stuff. Like, we have to get over and get through all the obstacles. I still
Oh.
have problems sometimes when restart things and turn things on.
I don't think there's gonna be I don't think we're gonna get to a point where just you're just settled and everyone's, like, smooth. It's just there's always gonna be something, but,
Even podcasts that have producers and people in the
right,
back that are doing everything. I'm doing everything right here in front of me. I got a second screen.
right,
I got buttons to push. I'm running the mouse around, and I'm trying to also keep the conversation going. So I'm doing all this by myself. Even when they got people in
right.
the back doing all that for them, problems still happen. So it's just
Right.
that's production for you. I mean, I
No,
don't know a ton
definitely.
about it, but
I would say 100 times production because even that's what I'm saying, like, even the fact that you're still not gonna perfect it, but as far as, like, you came, Tom came, everyone's have where we're at now, it's a trip to look back and say, "Man, look at, like, 10 episodes, 20 episodes ago, like, where everyone was at," like,
yeah,
that's how far we've gotten, deep into just, everything. I mean,
it,
technology,
just evolving
everything's
in general.
yeah, I mean, not just the tools itself. Everyone's gonna like upgrade, get the new
Yeah.
fucking, whatever.
Well,
Fucking
yeah.
I
Um,
don't want I could pull some plugs, but I might get sued for that. But anyway, um no, I'm just saying like overall like it's just a progression and it's a passion on taking it to that level. Like,
yeah.
it wasn't just like, "Oh, we're gonna try this one day and then boom." It was like, "Nah, this shit took off." Like, it took off. You definitely have a passion for it. You have a knack for it. You guys, all you guys up there, man. I'm happy to be a part of what you guys do and what we're doing right now on your show. Man, you definitely you come a long way, but I don't care what anyone says, and sky's the limit. You're gonna keep going. That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
So
and I'm just trying to always make things better. There's going to be a
right,
point where I have it at a steady level where everything's going to flow like it's supposed to, and
right,
I'm slowly but surely getting there. But I'm never going to be happy unless I'm always growing. Yeah, as you can tell,
right,
everybody, I just realized right now that this is the first episode without my backdrop, because I moved into a new room. And even from last night to today, it's changed. So I got some lighting going in the background. I got some old school UFC posters, which are pretty dope. And shout out to
hell
Hector and
yeah,
Alana for hooking me up with those a while
that's
back.
dope,
And
dude.
I was always looking for a good thing to a good way to display them or whatnot. And now that I have this room and I don't have to rely on a backdrop, man, I was like, this is the perfect way to display them, and shit, it works. It's old school posters, UFC 100,
Right.
UFC 98. There's all kinds of good ones back there. So,
See, that's the cool thing is you have nostalgia.
oh
You
yeah,
have like memories of different UFCs, and now See, that's the thing. You have a whole new canvas, so you can manipulate your background. I mean, you can change up posters, you can do whatever you want back there now,
Oh, and
and the lighting
it's
looks
gonna keep
great.
changing.
Right.
Yeah. So,
I dig the lighting over by the belt there.
oh yeah,
That works. Yeah, dude,
nice.
that's
Thank
killing it
you.
right there, man.
Yeah, I
Hell
gotta
yeah.
have my my beer pong belt back there. It's not a
Okay.
UFC belt, but it's a beer pong
Hey,
belt,
no,
and
belt's a belt.
me-
Hey, that's even more so, right?
yep.
You got bragging rights.
Me and
That's
Josh, man. Me and Josh. Shout out to Josh,
props
my
to
forever beer pong champion
all
partner.
right.
And cornhole. We're always winning at all of that. People get mad at
Okay.
us. But
Josh, where you
anyway,
at?
I know,
Whoop, whoop.
right? If you're listening, Josh, thank you for being a good
Getting
partner.
props.
Anyway,
But
yeah,
no, it's
so
cool.
you know, this is just something that I'm just glad to have you in here, man. I told you I'd get you in here when I first
Hey,
started it,
bro.
even. And
Oh man, I'm glad to be here.
yeah,
It's an honor,
and
privilege, and a cool.
the fact that you actually are, you know, you were so interested, asking questions, and you know, wanting to get info on stuff, like that proves to me that, you know, you're serious about it and wanting to do it. And you showed up and
Without
you're
a
here
doubt.
doing the damn thing, so I appreciate it.
Well, this is probably going to cause up a little craziness with our real cast. They're gonna be like, "How come Cremo doesn't fucking do this on our shit?" Like, like, how come
I've
you ain't prepared? How come you don't even show up, motherfucker? It's
I
like-
think we all know why. I think we all know why. But yeah, no, I mean, so yeah, I guess thanks for the little background there, because you know, it's cool to
oh
catch
man,
up like that, man.
I'm glad to be here, Big E, man. I love you. I love your man. Do your thing,
I-
podcast, your Big E Productions, baby, going rounds. This is what's up.
yeah, right
We
on.
got shit to talk about.
For sure. Yeah, let's get into it. We're gonna start off with a little bit of boxing, because we got a
Oh.
good little fight going on this weekend coming up. My birthday, by the way. All the fights are happening on my birthday, and I'm gonna be in
Right?
Vegas partying it up. So,
Whoop, whoop.
which, by the way, I'm seeing Wiz
So
Khalifa.
you ain't gonna be intrigued with any of this shit. You're
I'll
gonna be
watch it.
like,
I'll watch it
I'm doing
after.
my thing, baby.
But anyway, we got Deontay Wilder versus
Oh
what
man.
Hellenius.
The Nordic. What do they
I
call him?
oh shit, yeah, I'm trying to get to
The
that
Nordic
here.
Nightmare.
The Nordic Nightmare, yes. Man, this should be a good fight, but here's the thing. It might be entertaining and it might have some action, but I kind of think Deontay Wilder's just gonna fucking school
He's
him.
gonna have his fun with him.
Because here's the thing, I watched some of Hellenius. Man, I can't even say his fucking name. His name's Robert. But I watched a
Say
couple of
Rob.
his last fights, man. And
Rob
I
the
mean,
Nord.
he's got heavy hands, but and he's got a decent chin, but here's the thing, he gets hit a lot. And the dude that I watched him fight, like I think it was either it was the last fight that he fought. The guy I watched him fight was not at the level of Deontay Wilder. So
Okay.
I don't see this happening I don't see this going very far. Deontay Wilder's a fucking maniac, and he takes some punches, and anything that Robert throws at him, he's gonna take, and then he's gonna come back with something harder. So
So
I
you
mean,
don't think this Darrell guy is gonna he's not gonna have the stamina to put
Darrell.
up with that?
Oh, you mean Hellenius? I can't say his fucking name.
We'll say the Nordic.
The Nordic, yeah. The Nordic Nightmare.
So you
I
think
don't
he's
know.
just gonna go down?
I just don't think
I
he's
don't-
gonna be able to take the punches that Deontay Wilder is gonna throw at him.
Okay.
He could take some punches, but as the rounds go on, I think that his chin's gonna weaken quick, because Deontay throws like a
He's
fucking
not prepared to
yeah. Deontay hits like
not
a Mack
prepared for the
truck.
arsenal.
I don't know if you've seen what Wilder did to Tyson Fury, who's arguably the best right now. Tyson Fury, he put his ass down like the Undertaker, arms crossed and everything. And Tyson Fury got up.
All right.
But shit, I mean, you know that fool is out. So for Wilder to do that to him,
Yeah.
I mean, I know Deontay, he lost the last two against let's see, what was it? Yeah, he lost by TKO and by KO to Fury. But you know, he put the work on him. And for Tyson Fury to take it is because he's a gypsy king. I mean, that's what he does. But for
And it went the distance. I mean, it went all rounds in his fights. So the stamina's there, right? I mean, it's
Deontay
not like
or
you're gonna knock this dude out in like 2 or 3 rounds. Yeah, Deontay
oh
Wilder.
yeah.
But
Well, yeah, and he, let's see, the first one was a draw, so he did go, all rounds with Fury.
yeah, full
Yeah,
distance.
but the last two fights he got
Right.
TKO'd and KO'd, and that last KO was nasty. So, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't think that Hellenius is at his level for sure. So I think this is gonna be a one-sided
Right.
fight with Wilder
Kinda
coming out the victor.
he's stepping in, he's getting his feet wet. Right.
Yeah. So
And
and then we,
I'm with Wilder myself. I'm
oh, we got the vortex catching up a little.
I'm about to do some Migos shit. What? Drop out. Drop out.
Hold on one second. All right. So anyway, we got you were a little frozen there, so I was waiting for it to come back. But you're good now though. But yeah, so then on that
This is
also
why I don't get on Royal Rumble.
yeah. And honestly, like Cristo's a real animated person, so as soon as he starts moving around a bunch, that's when things get crazy.
I know. My movements. I show you like legit moves as I'm
Yeah. All right. So anyway, we got Caleb Plant,
taking a swing.
Caleb Plant and Darrell on this card as well. Caleb Plant's a badass. I don't know too much about both these guys, but everything I've heard of Caleb Plant, I mean, he's legit. So, I'm not sure. Have you heard much about these guys or?
Well, these are big body boxers. I mean, we're talking 168, 170, 170, 168 pound fighters. Not very big. Caleb's what? IBF champ. So he's got something to defend. I don't know. Caleb Plant, sweet hands. He's pretty good. I'm gonna go with Caleb. I just have a feeling that Caleb's gonna beat Anthony Darrell. I mean, Darrell's good. Don't get me wrong, but I just think like he's got the most experience. And again, I'm not big on boxing, but just looking up, doing my homework and all that. I think Caleb Plant's gonna come out and they call him sweet hands for nothing. I mean, I think
Right.
he's gonna deliver. He's probably throw some jabs out there, boop boop, right? And
No, I'm with you, man.
it's
I
gonna
think
knock your
Caleb.
ass out.
I think Caleb Plant's has what it takes to get this together.
Right.
I mean, I don't know
He's got
much
something
about
to prove.
Darrell.
I think both are from the U.S. I think they're both right. So,
Yeah. I mean,
man,
like I said, boxing's
that's a trip.
probably boxing's the what I know the least about. But you know what? When there's a fight that with names that I recognize, I'm gonna talk about it. This is about combat sports in general, not just
Right.
MMA. So I'm gonna put out there the stuff
Right.
about the boxing matches as well. So Premier Boxing Champions. I guess this is a
And
pay-per-view.
we mentioned that earlier.
What's that?
Right. We were talking about Anderson Silva. That coming up.
Oh yeah.
Anderson Silva, Jake Paul fight.
Yep.
I think Le'Veon Bell's entering the zone, right?
Yeah, he's fighting Uriah Hall, who's an ex UFC fighter. He just retired not that
Right.
long ago, but he's coming back to.
Bringing in everybody nowadays.
Yeah, those Jake Paul cards. If he's paying people, so that's gonna attract someone to come over and fight
Right.
and do the
Make
damn
that
thing
money,
with.
get that purse.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of
Right.
eyes are on those cards, especially with somebody like Anderson Silva fighting Jake Paul. So of course, anybody who knows what kind of attention that's going to bring is going to be down to fight on that card. So I'm surprised there's not more big names coming on.
Oh, for sure. It's
So-
crazy because like a lot of people I talk to that are familiar like yourself with UFC, MMA, and they're like they're just like, bro, Anderson Silva, you could throw that dude in any given fucking sport, he's gonna kill it. He's gonna kill it. Anderson Silva, he's just like a all around. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna do some damage.
Yeah, I mean, he fell off a little bit when it came to MMA. He can't compete with the top guys, but
He can just beat.
yeah, I like the background music.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, he's fell off a little bit in MMA, but
Love it.
he's doing well in boxing. He fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. last, and he won, and he kind of worked him. So I'm, just judging by
See,
what,
that was
judging by
huge,
what
man.
Jake Paul even acknowledged that Anderson fought somebody legit. So it's not like he's just fighting some random person or whatnot. He's fighting legit people right now and winning,
Right.
in pretty dramatic fashion. So, I mean, that's something to look forward to for sure. And that's coming up at
Right.
the end of the month.
And I think he's starting right. He's starting this whole new because it's almost like now all these fighters want to jump on the bandwagon. They're like, man, I should be boxing. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
paid better, right?
Yeah, for sure. And especially doing stuff like on the Jake Paul card, he's making sure, that's one thing I'll give him credit for. He is making sure that the people underneath him on the card are getting paid. And he better, because he's out there running his fucking mouth about Dana White not paying people. So if he's gonna be the dipshit that's gonna talk all that shit and not, cash that check that his mouth is putting out there, then fucking, he's gonna get clowned, and he knows it. So he
Right.
damn sure better be paying people, and it sounds like he is. So that's good. But yeah, we'll just move on.
Let me ask you, Biggie. You think,
Oh yeah.
like, when you look at boxing back in the day with like Mike Tyson,
Uh-huh.
Don King, you think Jake Paul is now like kind of like a Merriweather? Merriweather is his name.
Mayweather?
These guys, they promote themselves. They promote money for themselves. Yeah, Mayweather.
Yeah.
I say Merriweather. The same.
It's all right. What were you saying?
Yeah, these guys, they're promoting themselves to fights so that they can make money, and everyone makes money.
Definitely. But see, Jake Paul is actually doing it in a way where he's letting the money trickle down. Mayweather doesn't give a shit what everybody else is doing on the card. So that there's a big difference. And Mayweather's getting paid hundreds of millions. Maybe not in his recent fights, but in fights before, like against McGregor and stuff like that, he's getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars. And he doesn't give a shit what everybody underneath him is getting paid. As long as he's getting that check in his hand, that's all that matters to him. And Jake Paul's trying.
If he sees the big dollar signs, he's going after it.
Yeah. And Jake Paul's trying to bring people up, having his own promotion and making it worth it. He's not just doing it because he's chasing clout, or, maybe he is a little bit, because that's kind of what they're about. But, he wants people to make money.
See, Jake Paul's on a whole different level. He's actually it's like a Dana White, but he's doing it for himself. He's actually experiencing it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's being the player, the coach, and the owner.
Team.
For sure. Yeah. So
Right.
we'll touch a little more on Jake Paul a little later, because I got some more about that. But let's move on to some BKFC 31. So this is going on this weekend as well.
Oh
and
man, bare knuckle.
Yep. So we go from boxing traditional style to bare knuckle boxing, which, if you guys have watched any of it or followed any of it since I started talking about it, you know how crazy this can get. But yeah, the thing that interested me about this card is that there is a lot of ex-MMA fighters that are making their debut on this card. And Mike Richmond is actually an not UFC fighter, but an ex-MMA fighter. He fought on Bellator. But let me go ahead and show you the rest of this card. And I mean, once again, I'm going to touch on this once again, because I did this last time with BKFC. The fucking names, man. Like, How the fuck do these crazy ass
I was gonna
names,
say,
Mr. Doolittle?
from looking at the poster here, I would say I'm gonna judge Richmond just from his looks. He looks like that 1922 bare knuckle motherfucker in the Irish bar,
Yep.
right? Yeah. But at the same time, his name should be Doolittle.
Yeah, I mean it's weird, man. I don't know why all of these BKFC guys have fucking crazy names, or all of their pictures look like mugshots.
But hey, man,
But it's legit, right? I mean,
props to these. This is, you know what? I don't know if you or any of our viewers are familiar with them slap fucking contests where motherfuckers just slap the shit out
yep.
of you. You ever seen those?
Yes, I have.
Slap fights.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole different level. I don't know about all that.
You see motherfuckers getting concussed off of fucking one ass slap. Like, and you're like, dude, I would probably be dead if that motherfucker slapped me. That, you know what? My wife slaps me that hard, and I'm almost dead.
Maybe you do all right then. You built up a tolerance.
I mean, well, I don't know, because these motherfuckers, like, there's an art form.
Yeah.
You be knocked the fuck out, just like, whoa.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I think those are the most funniest to watch, because it's like, oh man, you see the skinniest guys like me against the biggest ass fucking brick motherfucker, and it's like, bruh, you know, yeah, like, whoa, he had that much power. But wait, there's more.
Oh
right?
man.
And then that big ass motherfucker, like, okay, bro. Then he's winding up. He's doing the powder, right? Oh, you know, this dude's gonna die. Like,
hey, that's right along the. I mean, BKFC's legit, right?
And all of a sudden.
But
oh, love it.
No, I mean, but those.
It's
I mean,
true
it's
fighting. It's true. It's UFC back in the 20s, really.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it's more along those lines, but you know, the slap fighting thing.
I mean, these fools had to fight. This is the shit they did for like beer and cigarettes and, you know, commissary. It was like.
Well, you know, this dude Richmond is a crazy looking.
That was their paycheck. Fuck, I'm gonna go and pay rent after.
Yeah. So this dude Richmond, you know, he I guess he's an ex-Marine, because that's what his nickname. I guess his nickname is the Marine. Yeah. So yep, nicknamed the Marine. Anyway, he fought on.
They both look. I wouldn't get in the ring with either one of them. They both look crazy.
Yeah.
They both look like they'll slap me like my wife.
She's gonna slap you right now for saying that. So let's see. We got Mike Richmond fought in Bellator before. So, and I do remember seeing him in there. I mean, he was a pretty decent fighter, you know, his name, I mean, I think he was just bigger on social media than anything. But so he's an ex-MMA fighter.
You know
and
what?
then we got
go with Doolittle.
Oh yeah. Let's see. I hope he does a little more than little.
Doolittle, Dr. Doolittle, baby. I'm. You know what? Who is bare knuckle fighting with the name Doolittle? Like this motherfucker.
No shit.
He's got a fucking vindictive against something. He's gonna knock your shit out.
So the other fight is a couple UFC guys, ex-UFC guys. So Chris Camozzi is the guy on the left. They're both making their BKFC debut. Right. Chris Camozzi fought. He fought in the UFC and he fought in the PFL, which is a professional fighters league. Haven't talked about that much on here because there hasn't been too many cards on since I started the podcast. But there is a big PFL card coming up in next month, so I will be talking about that soon because PFL is a bit different. So their setup.
For the next bare knuckle fighting competition.
Yeah. So Chris Camozzi was in the UFC for a while. He had his
Man,
ups and
you know,
downs.
all right.
What's that? No, go ahead.
Kamosi, Kamosi looked like he's pretty just from the photo. He's got some delts. He's like
Yeah.
back. I don't
He's one
see
of
that on
he's one of
Michael McCamel.
McDaniel. It's so that's Bubba McDaniel.
Okay. Let's say McCamel.
Yeah. Bubba McDaniel used to be in the UFC as well, and he
I
was
don't know, man. What's his name? Chris, the first guy.
Chris Camozzi, yeah. But
Okay, see, he's got a good name right there. So
Bubba McDaniel was on the UFC, and he was on the Ultimate Fighter, the reality show. And then I mean, he's fought in a couple places. He fought Bellator.
Bubba looks like he's got a little length though. He's got a little reach.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's funny, I actually met him at the UFC Fan Expo that year that we went, and he was actually pretty cool. Like, he's one of those dudes that was just kind of standing off to the side, and you know, people knew who he was just because he was on the Ultimate Fighter around that time.
Down to earth.
Yeah,
Real cool,
yeah.
dude.
He was real cool, but he
Right.
came over some hard times. Like, he got arrested and got accused of some stuff, and you know, that's when he kind of got.
Regular dude.
He got
He'd probably be one of your homies, Big E. Like, man, we
yeah. Yeah,
went
so-
south, but I'm gonna go and I'm gonna fight for money, right?
Yeah, but shit, now he's doing bare knuckles, so I mean, I hope he does well. I like both these guys, they're both pretty cool. But then we got, let's see, who else? Like okay,
That's
Josh Cope.
crazy though. That's like,
Yeah, it is.
oh
look
my
at that dude.
God.
Josh
Who are
Copeland.
you bringing up now? Look at this guy.
So Josh
There's a dude on the
Josh
Man,
Copeland.
you're bringing up some fucking mugshots.
That's what I'm saying. All of their pictures look like fucking mugshots. And then they have the craziest names. So Josh
What does it
Copeland
look
fought
like?
he fought in the UFC, he fought in the World Series of Fighting, which is now the PFL. It got kind of transitioned over. And then while he fought for the
Okay.
PFL as well. And so this is his
I guess-
BKFC debut as well. But yeah.
You gotta be busy if you're gonna go this route, basically.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, I don't think I could do UFC. Well, you know what? Try bare knuckle fighting, motherfucker. That's a whole nother. That's where the
shit.
Wheezies are at. Right?
So these guys, I don't know
Look
much
at this
about.
motherfucker. Oh man,
Look at Madden.
these two look like I saw him in the cafeteria in the county.
Yep. Fucking Madden looks like some big old corn-fed motherfucker. But same with these guys. I don't know much about these guys.
Yo, man, you gonna eat that?
Yeah.
You gonna eat that?
What you got on my drink, homie?
Oh, homie, hold up. Left side. We got
Yates?
Trevor Lawrence.
Oh shit. Oh man, I don't know much about those guys either.
Eric's laughing. Trevor Lawrence. Oh man, right?
But then we got
We got Luke Combs versus.
we got Brandon Gertz. He was a Bellator fighter as well. He's making his debut. There's all kinds of guys making their debut on BKFC right now. So, you know, that's kind of what this organization is about.
Right.
They bring in people left and right, you know, fighting for the first time in BKFC, but you know, it is what it is. It makes for exciting
I gotta go and
fights,
watch
people.
Some of these fights because
Yeah. I mean, at least the highlights. Go check out the highlights.
right, just to see the action, really what goes down.
Yeah.
I mean, this is fist straight up. If you were at a gas station, bro, and someone came up, they'd be like bare knuckle, homie, like straight up. This is who you're fighting. Someone cuts you off at the pump.
Yeah.
You know,
Pretty much.
you're gonna be fighting fucking Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. Oh shit, that's funny. All right, I've had enough of this.
you like my analogy.
Fucking Trevor Lawrence. That's funny. Anyway, go watch BKFC if you're into that shit. It's cool. It's fun. It's exciting. You're gonna see blood. You're gonna see people's faces get fucked up, and you're gonna see hands
Oh man.
swollen. But you know what? It is what it is, and it's pretty hyped right now. There's all kinds of people in this fight league. Paige Van Zant of all people
Right.
is in this fight league. She was supposed to fight on this card actually, but
Van Zant.
yeah,
That's a
it got
good name.
canceled. Oh yeah. But yeah, her opponent that wound up fighting for a title like a month ago, so this fight got canceled. But anyway, yeah, go watch BKFC if you're into it, or if you just want to see the chaos.
My homie here looks like Drew Brees.
Oh, to the right. He does look like a fucking
Yeah, against Asian dude right here. I don't know. Second to the bottom right here.
Yeah.
Looks like Drew Brees. Like, all right, this is what he's doing now.
He saw I quit football. I want to fuck
Man,
fools
all right, I
up.
can't QB now, so I'm gonna like bare knuckle fight some fools. I'm gonna go into a St. Louis bar or a.
Starting trouble. All right, let's move on to UFC now. So we got the UFC Fight Night. Grasso versus.
That was good.
Oh man, I was saying her name earlier because I heard it. It's Araujo. Araujo. Something like that. Anyway.
Yeah, some of these names, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing them right. But
yeah,
oh well.
some of these names, man. But you know, yeah, this should be a pretty decent fight. You know, it's not a huge card, but Grasso's really good on the ground. Let's move over here and check out. These are the top 3 fights. So these are the ones I wanted to just kind of touch on for a second. Alexa Grasso is, you know, they're fighting at flyweight. That's 125. So
Right.
most of Grasso's wins are by decision or submission. I mean, you're not going to really get a knockout from Grasso. She's not a striker for the most part. She's a high level jiu-jitsu practitioner, so you're gonna get a lot of her fights gonna end up on the ground, and she's on a 3-fight win streak at the moment, ranked number 5.
Yeah, I noticed that. She's been ever since like I think March or something. She's been killing it.
Yeah, she's on a good streak right now, so we'll see if she can keep it up.
But I think both Alexa, if she keeps it on a stand-up, because she seems more, some fighters you say, man, they do better stand-up, they do better grappling on the ground, right? So I'm gonna say with Alexa, if she can keep her game standing up, she has the advantage.
All right. Yeah,
As opposed to Vivi. Vivi, I think her style is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So if you take it to the ground, she seems like she's one more submission style. So I don't know. It could go either way. I think it's pretty even.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a good fight.
Well, they're ranked number 5 and number 6, so they're pushing to climb the ladder. One of them's gonna try to catapult up a little bit. And Vivian,
Right.
yeah, Vivian, yeah, she's got a 5-2 record in the UFC. You know, she's just on the come up, so we'll see what happens with this fight. Grasso, I think, is gonna have the advantage here. Like I said, she's a pretty high level jiu-jitsu practitioner, so I think if it hits the ground,
Right.
I'm thinking Grasso's gonna have the advantage and gonna take the win here. But let's move on to my boy Cub Swanson. This fool has been in the UFC for a long ass time. A long time. I'm sure anybody that's watched any fights over the past 20 years has probably seen Cub Swanson at some point in time. As you can see by his picture, he's got a pretty distinct look as well. But yeah, he's got like 21 fights in the UFC. He's 38 years old. They're fighting in bantamweight, which is 135. And he's got a win over the current 155 champ, Charles Oliveira. So, because Cub Swanson has fought everywhere from bantamweight to flyweight to lightweight. It's crazy. He's been all over the map. So, I think he fought Oliveira. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say lightweight? Yeah, I think Oliveira's. Yeah. Well, anyway, who cares? I'm getting my stuff all mixed up here. But
Well, that you know, you point out experience is really Cub's record, more wins to fight ratio. I think this could be, he could KO him. I mean, I think Cub's gonna KO him, or it could go all rounds. It could go to distance.
yeah,
But I think Cub has the advantage, strictly because when you look at I'm looking at TKOs to submissions. Man, he's knocking
oh yeah,
motherfuckers out, bro. Like, he's
Cub's got bricks in his hands.
and he'll catch you in weakness. Yeah, dude, this round five, I really like him. So both the USA bantamweight. Yeah, one's Cubs jiu-jitsu. Martinez is a striker, but that don't mean shit. I mean, you look at his record, he's only knocked out 7 people, but Cub's got like 13 kills. So
Yeah. So
I'm gonna go with Cub.
yeah, I mean, so this is kind of like the old lion versus the new lion, you know. We got Jonathan Martinez is on a three fight win streak.
Right.
He's got a couple vicious KOs by knees, one a flying knee.
He's trying to come up.
Yeah, and
Right.
so I mean, there's 10 years between them. Cub is 38, Jonathan's 28. So it's gonna be it's gonna be an interesting fight because
Yeah,
I mean I hear
Martinez hasn't fought. Right.
what was that? Martinez hasn't what?
I don't. Martinez is barely breaking the surface. He hasn't even fought as many as Cub Swanson has. So
Oh yeah, not at all.
I think Cub Swanson, just in that alone, Cub Swanson is the experience, not just the overall advantage on just what he does. I think just the experience alone. I'm gonna go with Cub. I'm going
Yeah,
with
for
Cub.
sure. No doubt. Yeah, I mean, I think it could.
But
Jonathan
this
could
could
come
go
up.
all rounds. We don't know. This could go to distance.
Yeah, and well, Cubs, you know, not as prominent of a fighter as he used to be, but you know, he's still action packed. It's still fun to watch his fights. You know, win or lose, it's a good fight to watch. So, the next fight, Askar Askarov versus Brandon Royval. Man, that's some tongue twisters there.
They
But,
almost have foreign names, even though one's a U.S. fighter. It's like,
Yeah.
who's the fucking pronounce?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
But Askarov. That almost sounds like a Thor Disney fight. Askarov.
Right. Especially like the double, like it's almost like repeating name. It's kind of weird.
Askar. It's like, yeah, you're just adding a Rov to your fucking Askar.
Apparently that's not
But
like
hey,
his.
I got love for the Russians. No,
No Russian hate here.
right?
Yeah,
And
so
Tom would say allies.
I was waiting for it. Anyway, yeah, so Askar, he's ranked number 5 right now, but a lot of his fights go to decision, man. I mean, he's an exciting fighter, but he doesn't seem to finish. And I mean, but he also doesn't get finished. Almost all of his fights go to decision no matter what. So, you know, he's a young up and comer, but I'm not sure that I'm too high on him. He is coming off a loss, and he's fought all kinds of big names. So that's one thing about him. And he also has a tie with the former champ, Brendan Moreno. So, you know, I mean, he can hang for sure.
Well, from my notes, man, he's 7-0 on submissions. This guy will submit you, like, he will get you in whatever clinch, whatever armbar, triangle. He will fuck you up and you will tap out. That's what I'm getting. 7-0 on submissions.
This
guy will. If he gets you, you're done. Basically, you gotta watch out for that.
Yeah, well, that's Brandon Royval. He's more the submission guy. I think he just got that one backwards. Askar.
Okay.
Yeah, Askar.
Well, yes, his numbers are better. 9-1.
Askar, a lot of his fights end in decision. So
So this may go ground grapple. You're gonna see a lot of fucking side control, right?
definitely, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a ground fight
I
game.
bet you half the fucking match is gonna be side control.
Yeah. Well, I
Right.
mean, Brendan Royval, which by the
You're
way,
gonna have someone on their shit, and they're just gonna try and fucking you
we were talking
do.
we were talking about funny nicknames earlier. Brandon Royval, his nickname is Raw Dog. So that's pretty funny because
Yeah.
especially hearing them say that on the actual like
Right.
um broadcast, listening to the commentators call him
Raw
Brandon Raw
dog.
Dog
Right.
Royval.
Right.
So that's pretty funny. But anyway, I'm going with Royval in this fight. I think he's gonna take it. I don't think Askar is gonna be able to handle what Royval's got out there with his submissions and
I would
whatnot.
like to see Brandon. Yeah, I would like to see this young buck fucking kick his ass. USA all the way. You know.
Ally though, right?
Getting all Top Gun with it.
Anyway, so yeah,
Iron Eagle.
all these fights are happening Saturday night. So, you can take your pick of which one you want to watch. You got boxing, you got BKFC, and you got UFC. But I think UFC is the only one that's actually fully free if you have ESPN Plus. So I guess if you're looking for something
Okay.
free to watch, then you should probably watch the UFC fight.
The Chickie. I gotta see who wins the Chickie fight, man. That's like I think Viviana's gonna win. I'm
You
going
think
for
so?
Viviana.
Okay. All
I
right.
know I don't know, it's just, Alexa, man, she's a go-getter and all that, but, I don't know, man, I think, Alexa's gonna when I see the 2 and the comparisons, one thing that sticks out for Vivi is she goes the distance. I don't see nothing on Alexa that she's gone even 4 rounds, like that says a lot to me about a fighter. If you can go 4 or 5 rounds stamina wise and you still got breath and you still got stamina, you're going to be good. You're worn out 3rd round. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's the whole thing is you got to wear out your opponent. You got to make them tired. Get 'em like Rocky did the fucking Club of Lang or even the Russian. Like you got to wear out your opponents and whatever that means. But I just think I'm going for Vivi. I think she's due. Alexa's won. Uh, yeah, she's and she fought Grasso. Grasso, she's fought Joanne Wood. She beat her by submission. I think. No, actually, yeah, she beat her by submission last fight. Alexa.
Yeah.
So even as much as a stand-up fighter as she is, she will stand up. She likes to stand and punch. She's a striker in the most part, but I don't know. I think Viviana's like I don't know. I see Viviana winning because I say Viviana may have a little more slight advantage because submission game and she almost has the same amount of TKOs because Alexa has what 4 TKOs, Viviana has 3. So that's not really like you knocked out 4 people, I knocked out 3. So and
Yeah.
Viviana's kind of a smaller chick. I mean, kind of. They're not, I
That's
mean, what, 1 inch on height, but it's crazy when you size someone up because 1 inch side by side makes a difference. You're like, "Damn, fuck taller," even though they're 1 inch. So, um,
yeah.
yeah.
No, I mean, when it
It'll be
when it
all
comes down to
be
it
like,
though,
"Damn, you
in
I'm 5'9", you're 5'10",
in
motherfucker."
in
No.
MMA, if it goes to the ground, somebody can get caught in submission easily. If it's on the feet, one punch can take someone out. So, you
Right.
know, when
And
in the
that's
end, it's a toss up.
right.
That's why it's tough to bet on
And that's where I
MMA.
think Viviana has a advantage too. Right. is because she is jujitsu. She is a grappler. Like when you look at it, that's her strong point. She is a grappler. If this goes ground, I think Viviana definitely has the strong advantage. But even straight up, that's gonna be the thing. Is Alexa has the reach. She's a tall chick. She's gonna be like boom boom, and you just gotta watch out for fucking her jabs, bro. If you stay out of her jabs, you be all right
Yeah. Well,
because you
we'll
won't get
see.
knocked out.
We'll
In
see.
fact, you know what? She should take her to the ground. Right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah,
Oh
there was
my
just
god.
a few other things I wanted to get
Love the
into.
beat.
Yeah, I throw them up there for when we're talking about the actual fights, just because it makes it a little more intriguing. Get the feel of the
Right.
fights going and stuff. But yeah. So if everybody noticed, I got this shirt on here. Oop, let me free Kane, because if you don't know,
Became maybe.
Cain
Oh
Velasquez
yeah.
is in prison right now, or yeah, because they won't let him out on bail, even because of you know basically he went after the person that
Of that of that
molested.
of that scenario that happened like 5 months ago?
Yeah, yeah, and so I mean he went after the person that
That's
molested.
that's an ordeal. I think he was defending his niece or something. Like this dude was a pedophile or some bullshit and shit popped off, right? I don't know. I could be far fetched, but
No,
he
so
was
it was
basically defending a
no,
loved one from a fool.
so it was his own kid that
I
was in
could
a
be wrong.
daycare.
I'm sorry.
No, it's just we're a little
Oh,
lag,
even
but
worse.
yeah, it was his own kid that was in a daycare, and pretty much, I mean, he found out that the dude had been molesting his kid. So, of course, like anybody else would have
Right.
done, or a lot of people say they'll
Bro.
do, but not a lot of people actually do it. Is he went after him, and yeah, he maybe should have chased him.
Allies.
Maybe he shouldn't have chased him through the streets. Maybe he shouldn't shot in public. I think he should have found him in a dark alley and beat the fuck out of him, because we all know what Kane can do when it comes to fighting. And Kane would have fucking murdered that dude with his bare hands. And I think that would have been way better than, running after him with a gun in hand. But I don't blame the guy, because when you find out that not only has he been molesting your child, his own child, but he's been molesting other kids by taking advantage of this in home daycare that they had, that they trusted
Nah,
their kids
see.
to go to. So this guy, this fucking dude that did the molester, is out of jail right now. He's out on bail. They don't even have him in jail, but yet Kane
See,
can't even
this
be
is
eligible.
this is a strong topic.
Yeah, go ahead. Are you-
Well, because you guys brought this up last night on the Royal Rumble. Towards the end, like, how you would handle uh, any one of mass shootings, basically this is the same topic, man. How do you handle motherfuckers that fuck with shit that need to be dealt with? Like, and the law enforcement or whatever ain't doing their part. You know what I mean? Like, you feel, I don't even know. Like, it's like, man, this is what this is what we come to. Like, I I almost feel like I need to start a task force of parents, the PTF, Parent Task Force. You will be trained, you will be concealed ready, not even concealed. Like, you could, if you want the AR showing, hip, fucking strap, you're good. You will be trained on it.
yeah. Well, I
No,
mean,
I'm just saying,
all
like,
any
people
any
need to
of
be
any of
people
that
need
is
to be dealt with, like, problems that any parent, any people deal with. Like, this is day to day shit.
yeah. Well, all that aside, I don't feel like Kane should be. They should at least let him out on bail. I know that there's no reason why he, of course he's going to get jail time of some
No,
sort,
he's
but when it comes down to it,
I think he reacted any way any parent would have reacted. And me, you, I I think that's fucked up on how shit played out on that because I feel bad for him really, like, that's fucked up. Like, that shit
yeah,
shouldn't have went the way it did. And you know what? The only reason why shit goes that far is because the law enforcement or whoever involved with the case don't follow up. They don't do what they're supposed to do, man. And so where does that leave you, a parent? Like you gotta. I'm gonna carry the vigilante myself. Well, and so you know what I mean? Like this is what we've come to as a society where you guys were talking about this the other night. Like, man, where do you draw the line? On school
yeah,
shootings and whatnot. Like, this is a big deal. We have kids. We are parents. We have loved ones, and it's not even kids. It's like elderly. Like, I don't know if my dad's gonna be taken care of over here, and you know what I mean? Like, fools be drugging fools, and bro, it's bro. Yeah, I know.
yeah.
I I should be saving these topics for the
Well,
final episode, but
my 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 big, I mean, I know it does spark
but I don't get on
conversation.
that.
It does spark conversation about other topics, but I just wanted to bring light, you know, about Kane because, of course, when the news hits and everyone's talking about it left and
Right.
right for a couple weeks in a row, and then it kind of falls off. And I have
Cain
heard things.
Velasquez, bro. He's been
I have heard things here and there in a couple other podcasts. So, people bring it up and whatnot, but they always just touch on it. And, I just like to make sure I bring light to the fact. And,
right.
I keep seeing
But
this shirt.
everybody wants to talk shit till they talk shit to the person, right? Like you can talk all you what until you face till Cain Velasquez is in front of you. You're like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, well, what you got to say, And then it's
Yeah.
like, I didn't want to say that
Yeah. Well, anyway,
because everyone's gonna be a keyboard
yeah.
warrior.
Well, this is more than just being any of that shit. This is about what happened with his actual kid, and
I know, man.
this goes way further than any of the stupid bullshit that people talk about and argue about. This is
Right,
serious shit that
right.
that should have never happened to his kid, and he shouldn't be in this ordeal
Well,
either. He should have never been able.
right.
He should have never been pushed to the
It could happen to any one of us, any parent. It could happen to anybody. I mean, it
yeah.
doesn't exclude you.
Well,
And
let me
again, like
just
you said, it's real shit.
yeah. Let me just finish this thought though. When it comes down to it, okay, my thing about this is uh, Cain Velasquez is a good dude. As far as I know, he doesn't even have a fucking record, but yet he goes out there and does
Right,
something. Yeah, and kind of, yeah, I know it was a hot-headed decision, and he went out there working off of emotion and adrenaline. But what else are you supposed to do when other things, when you find out something like that, and you spare the moment
right.
decision, and I hate to say it, may have been a bad
I think
decision.
any good dad, any dad in that. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, but
Go ahead.
it may have been a bad decision, but when it comes down to it, you know, I don't think that what's happening to him now and how he's being held up and kept in jail without even the possibility of bail because
Yeah, that's bullshit. That's
they
wrong.
say that he's a threat to society right now, but he doesn't even have a record, just because he was an ex-UFC fighter. I mean, is that why people want to act that way
Yeah,
about it?
that's
When you have a child molester that's out on the street, you have his dad who is saying that he's going to plead the fifth on everything because pretty much he doesn't want to get himself in trouble for anything he's going to say. So that's what that's sounding like to me. And then
right.
also it sounds like the mom who was running the daycare put the
That's when
daycare
I think you have a
uh,
right.
but the mom apparently has put the daycare up for sale and has pretty much disappeared. So I mean all this shit sounds pretty sketchy coming from that side. And the prosecution I guess apparently is saying that that they're not even going to have their star witness, who is the guy who's the molester that Kane was going after, they're not even gonna have him like testify. But yet he's the guy with that's
Who
holding.
did who did have a gun. He had a gun on him too. I read the reports. He had a gun. He
Yeah,
had
well,
a
the biggest thing, I mean, the biggest thing though is
there
that
was
Kane
some
went
foul
after
shit.
him. So, and he shot the other dude that
Yeah,
was
but
just in the truck with him. So,
see,
I
that's
understand where
kinda
the
like
go ahead.
no, I'm saying, like, me and you as a father figure, anyone's watching that has ki you wanna protect your cubs, you wanna protect your kids, you know what I mean? Like, to so to even have any fucking sense of a pedophile or anybody that would do harm to your children, no. You were out. You were fucking there's a big X on your face.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, in the end,
like, you're
I just
done.
wanted
Like, I don't even want you in the picture.
Yeah. No, in the end, I mean, I don't want to go down this road of
Yeah.
just getting too crazy about it. I just wanted to bring light to it again. Like I said, I got the shirt because I was seeing it everywhere and I knew I had to buy one
No,
because
it's
the
a good one. You
proceeds
did.
go to, the family or whatnot, from what I understand. Either way, just to put it on and put it out there and remind people, that Kane should be free and it's all bullshit. And if he has to
Man,
do
Biggie, that's a good thing about you as a good man.
Yeah. And I just hate seeing that this is what's happening to him and I think it sucks. And I think he's a good man and I don't think that he deserves any of
Right.
this. I understand he's probably going to have to do jail time because it was
For
a crime
doing
what
the
he
right
did.
thing, you're
I know,
right.
but the thing is it shouldn't be 20 years to
But
life like they're saying
who
because
who
of
would have said,
attempted
like,
murder.
if it was you, we'd probably done the same thing, if not worse. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, when you put yourself in those shoes, what the fuck are you gonna do, right? Like, you're protecting your own. You you're pissed. You were fucking pissed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you said,
Yeah.
you can't
It's fine.
even. Don't try to go there. Let's just keep it kosher.
No. In the end, I just wanted to say, free Kane. Fuck all the bullshit. He should be free. That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted
Right
to bring
on,
light
man.
to it again. But
No, Kane. He
anyway,
should, man. I
um,
hope he gets free, justice comes his way in his sight, in his side, because
yeah,
he was doing the right thing. It ain't no different if me or you as any given parent we're trying to stand up for our own, man. What would you do? And
yeah,
that's what I think the lines drawn as vigilante is what's vigilante? Like you're standing up for people you love.
yeah.
Man, I don't think there's enough of it,
No,
honestly.
I mean,
So,
I know we all feel strongly about it. Like I said, I just wanted to bring it up.
primo.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to go too far down that hole, but anyway, I know I said earlier, just running it back. I wanted to bring up Jake Paul. This will be the last thing. I wanted to bring up Jake Paul because I don't know if you watched that video with him and Stephen A. Smith. Did you get a chance to take a look at that?
Oh, I caught a little bit of I despise Stephen A. Smith, really. Like, I
Yeah,
think there's a nickname we have throughout the house. What do we call him?
jackass.
Stephen A. Smith? No one's No, there's a word for it. No one's paying attention to me
Yeah.
like
No,
always, but
I
hey,
know.
that's life.
I don't like
Like,
I don't
Dad, you're
like
dumb.
I I don't like Stephen A. Smith either, for the most part. But it was just an interesting conversation between him and Jake Paul, and I was gonna kind of
Okay.
jump on and do. I still might do it. I'm not sure, but I was gonna jump on and do a little video about it just because I thought it was an interesting back and forth. Stephen A. Smith gets on my nerves, and I don't think he knows much about MMA. As a matter of fact, I don't think he knows shit
Well,
about MMA.
he puts his nose in the shit all the time.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
that, and
he buries his nose in
I know.
the dirt.
He does know some shit about boxing though. I will give him that, and he knows his basketball. So in the end, he does have some knowledge.
Right.
And here's the thing.
Oh, he has to.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing is, he didn't have to be as cordial with Jake Paul as he was, because Jake Paul, of course, was wilding out like he does.
Right.
I mean, he was a little bit tame compared to usual, but the topic of Dana White came up, and Jake Paul's talking shit, saying Dana White's the bottom of the barrel,
Well, I think
shit.
the minute Dana White came into play, Stephen A. Smith backed down because he's like, "All right, Dana White, because he's got more pull than
No, no, but here's what I'm saying.
foul-mouthed Stephen A.
No,
Smith."
no, here's what I'm saying though. Here's what I'm saying. Stephen A. Smith defended Dana White because
Very psycho.
Stephen A. Smith defended Dana White because I guess they're
Oh,
boys.
okay.
So he was trying to tell Jake to be like, he's like, calm down, youngster. Like, you're
Oh,
talking too much shit right now. Because he's like, you got to give him credit for what he's done for the sport of MMA, and how well he's held up that sport, regardless of what you think about his business practices. And Jake Paul's on the side of, making things better for
right.
the fighters with better fighter pay, getting them health insurance, and something to fall back on after they're done pretty much
Right,
sacrificing their bodies for the sport. So that was pretty much
right.
the context for that conversation was revolved around that. But Stephen A gave Jake Paul some props for holding up boxing and making it popular again, which I thought was pretty cool because
Well, see,
go ahead.
well, that's what I think. I think that's I think that's the crossover we're gonna see. I think UFC within the boxing. I think they're both channeling through each other because there's more money to be made. And not just in a sense of money, but for fighters, because a fighter can only do so much in UFC. Your body's going to go through a fucking, like Anderson Silva. Let's take him for example. You're going to go through so many fights. You get to a certain age, you hit your 40s. Man, I don't know if I can fucking do this anymore. Well, can you fucking go toe to toe with someone in a ring? Oh, maybe. Let me fucking duke it out in practice. Oh, fuck, you killed that guy. You'd be great. Okay. Next thing you know, boom, you fucking, dude, you did wonderful. You could take on three more people. All right. There's a money making scheme, but yet it keeps these old fighters still in the league. It's keeping you know what I mean? It's keeping the momentum going. It's keeping I think it's keeping the fighters too intact. Like you're not just retiring, you're going to something else that would still keep you in the twilight. Like you will still be a fighter, you will still be recognized. In fact, I think boxing now has become more of damn, who's gonna fight who? Because I think McGregor and what Mayweather, that was like, what? Everyone was like, nah, this ain't gonna happen. And then it did. And then everyone was like, we knew that was coming.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh shit, who's next? Who who's gonna be the next UFC fighter that kills it in UFC, but comes over to boxing and kills it? And I think Anderson Silva's proven that. He's already proven that.
Well, there's
And
a big
because
difference.
that
There's a big
motherfucker,
difference.
yes, I don't care who
There
you
there's
are,
a big
Anderson Silva, he'll go
we're
ahead.
just the
You
lag.
got it.
No, the lag was
I'm
bad right
going off
there.
the chain.
No, the big difference
You
is
gotta wait
is
for Cremo because my shit.
well, it's I swear it's just the longer it goes, that's what happens. But just to wrap that up, the biggest thing
Right,
is Connor did it while he's in the UFC. Anderson's doing it after the fact. Uriah Hall's going over to fight in boxing after
right,
he's retired from MMA. And I'm not saying that that's where
right.
UFC fighters go to die or anything, but I'm just saying because UFC
No,
contracts are so strict.
I think
Hold
you're
on, hold
gonna
on,
have
hold on, hold on,
crossovers.
hold
You're
on, hold
gonna
on,
have
hold on.
fighters that do both.
Let me finish my point. So I think the thing is they pretty much the UFC contract is so strict. They're only going to let somebody like McGregor go over and box while he's under contract with the UFC because of the eyes that it'll get. They saw how much money could be made from that and what kind of promotion can be done from that. So in the end, you're not gonna have
That's
another
why
UFC fighter that is on the roster at the moment that's gonna cross over and have a boxing match with somebody while he's in a UFC contract. Anderson Silva is a whole different story because Anderson is a fighter that is now out of the UFC, out of MMA.
he has moved on. Right.
Yeah, he's moved on, and what he's moved on to is boxing. So he's staying in the combat sports realm, but he's not in MMA anymore, and he's definitely not in the UFC anymore, as we all
Right.
know. So
Exactly. And I
yeah,
agree. I totally agree.
yeah. So
But
anyway.
that opens up a whole new yeah, it
Oh yeah,
opens
go
up
ahead.
a whole new world for these fighters. So even after the fact, after UFC, and that's what we're seeing. That's why I think that's why I think we're touching stuff like boxing, bare knuckle, because other not just fighters, not just UFC fighters, MMA fighters, but we're talking about like look, Levy and Bell is supposed to make his debut as a boxer. We
No,
have
no,
people
he boxed
outside of
once
the
before.
realm coming in. We've already seen we've already seen it with what's his name? The the Browns guy. What's his name?
It was
He was
Adrian Peterson.
a defenseman for the Browns or
No, he fought Adrian Peterson.
yeah. Or any one of those yeah, any one of those NFL guys that choose to be like, I'm gonna cross over, I'm gonna do NFL, but at the same time, hey man, I think I can beat up some people and make money. You know what I mean? So it's just I think we're barely scraping the surface really on what MMA is going to take off as and where it's going to branch out. So, you know, covering UFC alone and well, we're hitting boxing, we're hitting bare knuckle. I think bare knuckle, man, you're probably going to see more shit. You may see some celebrities coming out doing bare knuckle.
No,
That
you're
would be
not.
some shit, right?
No, you're not. You're not gonna see that happen. If you see that happen, I don't
Nah,
know.
too many people they're too pussy.
No, it's just bare knuckle fighting is getting
Ain't
popular,
no see
but
no,
it's definitely not getting to that point. Anyway, yeah, shit.
ain't
I'm
no
just
bare knuckles
looking at the
coming out
time.
like, "Got that tack."
Anyway,
I
we'll
know.
wrap it up here. That was pretty much what I wanted to cover anyway. So unless you got anything else you really want to go over at the moment, I think we pretty much hit on everything.
Um, the only thing, we talked about Askar, Brandon Royval, Jordan Wright, and Dusko Todorich. That's the next one up, middleweight. And then you got Misha. Like, here's my take on it. On those, fights here, it's all equal. I think even Jordan and Disco, that's equal. When you look across the board, man, both of these guys are 190, 185. Both of them have 7-2 on the TKOs. Their most last recent fights, one lost by submission, the other one fucking won by a TKO, but he lost by a KO. So I don't know. Like I think that fight's gonna be equal. I'm going for Dusko. Going for fucking Serbia. The Serbian versus Beverly Hills Ninja. So I'm going Dusko. And
Yeah,
then after that, you got Misha Serkinov and Alonzo Minifield.
yeah,
Man, again, these are some big dudes. I want to go Minifield. You know what? I'm putting my chips on Minifield just
yeah.
because of his name, Minifield. That motherfucker sounds like a running back.
they're both they're both pretty much beasts, but
Give it to
yeah.
Minifield.
All right, man. Well, I mean, I don't
Right.
really want to get too deep into all of the fights because then we'll just be here for hours. That's why I kind of just handpick a
I
few,
know.
and
I
get
know.
into those.
Yeah, I'm just glad. I'm glad I kept up. I'm glad my feed did pretty good. Um,
Yeah, it was a little touchy here and
I
there,
think it
but
did well.
I'm sure
We'll be the
it's
judge of
okay.
that once.
It's okay.
I know.
We're still in a bit of a time warp, but it's not as bad as usual. I'm just glad you got to come on.
Yeah. No. I
Anyway,
just know you're giving me the you know what? This is podcast etiquette because you're giving me the Tommy pause. Well, give him a minute. Shit's gonna catch up.
yeah. Eh,
Maybe.
it's it's getting bad. You're getting animated again. Anyway, no,
But
I know it's a little rough here and
no,
there
I know.
with the
Man,
stream,
brother, hey,
but
thank you, dude.
yeah, for
I was
sure.
all right. No, we did great. I think it was awesome, man. I think we covered a lot of shit.
Yeah,
I think your viewers would be pleased, man. I'm just happy to I'm happy you chose me, man, to really you gave faith in me. And I think I did okay. We'll see what
he did fine,
old
man.
Tommy
It's all good. Hey,
we'll
we're
see
just
what
here.
old Magix has to say.
Don't worry about that.
I
Hey, we're just
know.
here to have fun,
I
and
love you,
we're
brother,
just
man.
we're
Thank
just
you.
here to have fun and talk it out, and it's all good. We're just here to talk about MMA, and we got to know you a little
I do
better,
this.
so that's
Amita
what it's
ba.
all about. All right, so everybody, don't forget, like, subscribe, and
Right.
hit that notification bell. That way you
Right
know
on.
whenever we're live, whenever a new episode comes out. And then go follow me on
Big E going
Facebook,
around. Thank you.
Instagram,
Yes,
Twitter.
sir.
And if you want to listen audio only, you can find me on all these platforms. I got video and audio up on Spotify, but you can get audio only on Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, all these platforms you see here in the middle. So if you want to listen only, you got those options. I usually have it out same night. And yeah, thanks for joining us and thanks for coming in, Cristo. You can also catch us. Well, you can catch me all the time and Cristo sometimes
Thank you for
on
having me. Big E
the final
going
episode.
rounds. Whoop, whoop, whoa.
Final episode, usually on Wednesdays and Sundays. That's where we both got our start in podcasting, and yeah, that's what we do. So whenever Chris jumps on, it's fun, and I'm on there all the time. So thanks again, Christo, for coming in and joining us. And yeah, I think that's about
Thank you,
it.
Big E, man. Much love, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate you.
appreciate you
All
too,
right.
brother. Much
Goody,
love.
goody gumdrops.
Peace out, everybody.